In the land of Skyrim, a country filled with war, Draugrs, catboys, lusty argonian maids, and very recently dragons, the world is very much in need of a hero. They need a hero till the end of the night. They need to be strong, they need to be fast, and they need to be with you till the end of the line. Can you beat Skyrim as Captain America? This video is brought to you by this comment here, as well as really wanting to try Unarmed for myself after watching Mancake's lore accurate cat video, so of course big shout out to him, and his video will be in the link in the description if you're interested as well. The rules, which have been kept very simple, damage with my fists and my shield, as well as no potions or spells. Reasoning being Cap doesn't cast spells, and if Cap can't get drunk due to his super soldier metabolism, I kind of figured something similar would happen with potions. But now, enough stalling. We start with a callback, seeing Mr. Rogers wake up in a time that isn't his, with people he doesn't recognize, but figuring out he has to be in the past, with Hydra seemingly calling the shots. I fix my FOV, try and make Captain from America. Unfortunately, I can't make Cat in America, so no unarmed buff for me, instead choosing Nord because son of Skyrim slash quote-unquote America, trying hard to make Mr. Rogers while being held back by Skyrim's character creator. I mean, like, I don't know, it's Skyrim, man. Can you even, like, do things in Skyrim, like, with a face? It's so difficult. So with this Steve not from Minecraft prepared, it appears that this is going to be the end. Before Alduin the World Eater rushes to the only person who can defeat him and saves them immediately. I stick with the prisoners, mostly Rayloft Barnes here, finding some stand-in armor, but also finding that we'll need to fight our way out of here, even with the dragon threat looming. But thanks to the power of fists, Cap can make sure he's not killing anyone. Good one, Cap. So I rally the troops, find a not throwable stand-in, which helps interrupt my opponents and helps make up for my abysmal damage, making our way out with no consequences. Really, one hit and I get fucking whatever. Before hitting the big no button, and seeing the dragon threat rush off with all the items I came to this time period with. A dragon stealing all the stones I meant to return is not a very good start. So I go with Rayloft to Riverwood, grab the me stone, and start taking in the American values of capitalism. I forgot my name is Steve Rogers, I don't know how I forgot that. Finding the item that is going to make this run not as painful, but also showing that while crime doesn't pay, don't act like hero work doesn't leave you broke either. So after an honest day's work, I buy some punchy punchers, where I also get told about a nearby set of ruins that are making the people of Riverwood uneasy. So I decided to show my thanks and take it on, while Rayloft Barnes says he'll look into the dragon threat while I clear it out. So I make my way up with high hopes for my damage, before I lose the last bit of hope I didn't even know I had, seeing the world is quite filled with bandits. Accidentally pull a Terminator as I take their boots, their clothes, and their cheese money. The bandits aren't a problem, and outside of the giant arachnid that makes me feel bad for Peter Parker, this dungeon is the second easiest thing that I've done all day, easily showing that I can in fact indeed do this all day. And while this overlord tends to give me some slight issues, shield bashing likes to reset animations, meaning I take out the Draugr before he can even get his second hand on his axe. So I take what I can, return the lost property to the locals, getting enough gold for a small upgrade, before Rayloft and his family found out the local city of Whiterun is in trouble, and hoping the city might allow me to find out about the dragon who stole what I need to return. But just in case, I buy some needed ingredients, as the only real way to make sure I can do this all day is going to be lots and lots of vegetable soup, for constantly regenerating health and stamina. But once the chef hat leaves my head, I do find out the Jarl is looking for help, and thankfully the runes I cleared out had a dragon stone that they can decipher. But as the mage takes a look, the dragon has been spotted near the city, so I tell the guards to assemble, get bad memories of life before the super soldier serum. But when it finally lands, and with me on my proper diet, the guards and I work together, showing that dragon that take off their scales and what are you, which accidentally makes it take off its scales and seemingly give its power and soul to me. And after asking the Jarl, what the hell, in modern day Marvel writing, he informs me that there is only one group of people who know what this could possibly be about, and I can find them near Iverstead in High Hrothgar. So while Cap keeps trying to adjust to this place while he's here, and also remembering the Lady Stone, which can further let me do this all day, I then find out the people who can help are up 9,000 steps. I also accidentally go AFK at the best and worst time, survivability up so much that when I come back, I take out the wolf. I also decided to farm some XP off this troll to get to level 7, and so close to the Fists of Steel perk. Before I find my way to the Greybeards, finding out my connection and the use of the suit and stones to get here has slightly altered my DNA, and in this time period, am what they call a Dragonborn. They help me harness this so-called power, And in return, and to finish my training, I promise to bring back an item they're looking for called the Wind Caller. On the way, I make my punchies a bit more punchy, and in Ustengrav, I show off it's a very welcome up to my damage. Clearing the place, finding another blinding shout that I never use, before finding the Wind Caller was replaced with a note, telling me to head back to Riverwood for a talk, which turns out to be a bad idea, as Hydra has sent assassins to stop me. But thanks to my own strength, but more thanks to the people of Riverwood, thank you, they get taken care of. I then do as the note says, making me meet up with Delphine, who is the one who wrote it. She happens to be one of the last members of S.H.I.E.L.D. in this time period, and knows I'm from the future, and my time shenanigans has unfortunately caused Alduin to be released from his little time slip. I tell her I'm just trying to return what's not mine, but I will make sure not to leave this place in disarray to do so. To help and gather more information, I'll need to meet her at a dragon's grave. Holy fuck.
For gosh sake, watch your language.
That's not going away anytime soon.
Which turns into a robbed grave, as it turns out Alduin is using the stones I'm meant to be returning to bring back the dragons. And since I've heard more than enough monologues, I instead rushed in for the fight, a fight that is scarily easy if I'm honest. Why haven't I used my meat-beating nubs for good sooner? And at this point, my main goal is to just get higher, heavier armor stat to gain small increases to dunk damage. Proving myself now makes Delphine glad that I'm here, and says she'll look into Hydra, thinking that they are somehow connected to Alduin. So I take some time to finish my training with the Greybeards and do some shopping. As Delphine says, she'll be very busy.
Not here. I told you to meet me in Riverwood.
Then why are you here? What are you doing? I also get a fist upgrade that looks more like an ultimate Captain America than what I'm going for. And it's also time for me to be an honest YouTuber. I planned for my last armor set to be the... I don't even know how to say that. I've been reading it this whole time. How do you say that? Stalhrim armor, as it's a nice blue that kind of feels as close as possible to that cap look. But after some research, it turns out this armor only spawns starting at level 35, which means I'm not getting it. Mostly because Cap going on about a 16 level side quest to get armor that has a hint of blue in it, while the world is getting destroyed by the dragon threat. Doesn't seem very Captain America to me. Tony Stark maybe, but not Cap. A moment that shows you should compromise where you can. Speaking of compromises, Delphine found a way for me to get into Hydra HQ. A party. Anything I think I need gets snuck in by Mailborn, giving him only my essentials. Before it's time to suit up, in party clothing. See a guard in Emma Frost proportions, before getting stuck in a conversation with a suspicious member of Hydra. So I do what I do best.
Hail Hydra.
Gather the only reason to leave my house, find a way to drop production at the party by 10%, which gives me time to suit up, for real this time. And with no chance on this or any Earth to try stealthing, I instead take Hydra head on. Insert me saying I can do this all day, mostly thanks to me using soup after soup and cheese wheel after cheese wheel. Honestly kinda makes me feel more like Popeye than I do Stevenson Rogerson, but easily punchable bad fellas aside, I find the intelligence I'm here for, only to find out it wasn't worth getting, as Hydra has literally nothing to do with Alduin. The only useful piece of information we obtain is that there is a seemingly important person named Esbern, so I clear out the exit, for once get an upgrade I don't need to buy, before bringing forward the information to Delphine. Unfortunately, right as I woke up in real life.
Really? That seems hard to believe. You're sure about that?
Don't talk to me until I've had my gamer steps, alright? Need to have my scuba incel tears if you're gonna fucking talk to me like that, alright? But Esbern seems to be the other last member of S.H.I.E.L.D., a man that is trying to stay safe in Riften. Being from Brooklyn, Steve has no problem defending himself and going through the backstreets. But unfortunately, I'm not the only one looking for Esbern. But hey, I'll take the XP. I soon find him, tell him we gotta get out of here, and easily clear our way back out, bringing him back to Riverwood, where he tells us information on stopping Alduin might be found in his little diary, his wall. I then get reminded of a problem I'll handle later. The wall is being protected by some savages, easy enough to take out, before getting shown that I actually can't do this all day.
That is America's ass.
Realize that F5 should have been my friend. Oh, this game sucks.
Ever into markers?
Yeah.
Some say it was built by the dwarves.
Some people say it sucks. I also get reminded of anniversary content, an armor set that I think screams Captain America more than the Walter White armor. But after going back and dealing with the dragon that has been bonked, Hi there, Mr. Dragon. How are you doing? I'm gonna eat some sweet rolls. Is that okay? In perfect Skyrim timing, I don't get to wear this nice armor for long. Damn! But outside of fashion sadness, I find out that if you stare into the void calls you a cutie patootie, before Esbern finds out about a power that should help me defeat Alduin. The Greybeards might know more about it, and when I ask, and while they do, they are upset I've been working with S.H.I.E.L.D. But at this point, I'm not looking for forgiveness, and I'm way past asking for permission. This proves to them that I may be this Earth's last chance for survival, teaching me the way to find the only person who can teach me what I need to learn, even if it's an annoying trip. Stop. Get the fuck it. There we go. When I make my way to the top, the person turns out to be a dragon as well. Hi. I try to be accepting of his culture, but this word that he makes me say is actually used as blackmail. But I just tell him I'm here to save Alduin. Thank you, me from the past, for writing like a 5-year-old. But I just tell him I'm here to defeat Alduin, and tells me I must get this universe's time stone to take a glance back in time to learn a shout that would help me take care of the problem. Being told Septimus Stark should be able to help lead me to the stone, marking it on my map and giving me the keys I'll need to grab it. So to the Stark ruins I go, finding other people looking for goods, as well as old-time suits that definitely were made in a cave with a box of scraps, proven by the way that they get stunned by my shield. So with nothing that can stop me, and with my block finally to 50, I can also get the Deadly Bash perk for extra damage, which does a surprising amount of damage, about the same as my fist plus stunning. I know this Steve Rogers has crafted many a soup, but this build is cooking. I also show off the true spirit of America by using lots of food just to be able to survive this section, despite the fact that I didn't die here. Blackreach? More like, this area in the game sucks. I do at least get a shield upgrade, one that does bleed for each silly slap, before somehow accidentally figuring out this puzzle, first try, for the 5th time. Think this stone is a bit big before I need to get my ears checked as it's a time scroll, before it's back to the throat of the world. Watch the past of the past, miss my wife Cyberpunk 2077 to be able to skip dialogue. Release me! Release me! Me taking a peek back through time allows me to learn the shout, before watching the use of the time scroll, which also affected the ripple of my arrival. Alduin comes just in time for a beatdown, which thanks to my new shield, actually is a beatdown. And thanks to my huge amount of food I've been storing, but mostly stun locking with the shield, this dragon is super easy. But like a show that has a few more episodes before the end of the season, I just can't help but let Alduin get away. Parthenax will look into where he went, before I get to stop having fun. As usually, I'll do the Pete's Conference to avoid my least favorite quest in the game. But I'm forced to do the Civil War quest, as Captain America couldn't see these men and women laying down their lives, and can't help but to do any less than the same. While I hate both sides, as they have far too many cons and little to no pros, and the fact that the Thalmor are already my stand-in for Hydra, I need to side with the Stormcloaks, as they need me to do such helpful tasks for all of Skyrim, like travel across the world to fight one ice wraith. Great! And after a quick dragon interruption, I decided to allow myself the ability to enchant. When I started the run, I didn't want to use enchants just because I didn't think Steve would adjust well to this new time. However, just as he does in the movies and also in the comic books, he kind of adjusts pretty well. So I think it's fine for him to enchant, and it also allows me to have bonuses for health and damage upgrades. Past me thinks this is the last fit, does he know? Before Barnes and I group up to prevent Hydra from collecting a weird relic. I also accidentally do a cool as hell 3 guys at the same time fight, but me and the other soldiers easily fight the undead with the crown we are here for, as once again, my stuns let the Draugr do less than Jeff the Shark in current patch. Before I deliver the gift to Ulfric, ask the Whiterun Jarl if he'll stop the fighting, and after being given a very unfortunate no, I pretend that I'm no more. What the fuck? I rally the troops, making the makeshift Avengers assemble, trying to knock out who I can and have as few casualties as possible before we force the Jarl to submit, and take Whiterun back from Hydra, getting the reward of seeing an NPC thinking they are him. What are you doing in the sea? You're not him, buddy. And also double check and show that you either need to do the peace conference or the full Civil War quest to continue the story. So it's back to taking orders, fighting our way to save POWs, climb the ranks, and get my final armor set that I'm actually very happy with. It's got red, blue, and very, very off-white. And after Dragon commercial break 2, get a Hydra hater to tell us where we can get some supplies. And after Dragon break 3, take back another camp with the group. Get to hear that the Jarl is a potty mouth.
We can put a stop to the breaking of our silver mines.
And do the last camp clearing we need while you get no context from my background conversation. No, like I'm fine if something's like, I don't know, it's weird because it's like little balls in my mouth. If I want balls in my mouth, I'll put the balls in my mouth. And with all the camps ours, it's time to get back to the capital. I'm also starting to think that this quest doesn't level quite right, as it's way easier than usual. I also kind of wish I had a throwable shield, using this plate as my only way to kind of do it, before it's back to saving the world. Try and ignore the part of the hero man doing this. But after a big speech that is just, we did it, Parthenax finds a dragon who will happily betray Alduin. And with the cost of no lives, and at the cost of 1 lives, we spring the trap on this dragon. Wish he brushed his teeth, but Parthenax is right, and he's now on our side. He knows where we can find Alduin, before it's off to finish the fight. And we have another moment here where I kind of just take everything down. This run was a whole host of fun. I mean, I can literally do this all day. Low health enemies get punched, and tanks get bled down by the shield. And with everything taken care of, I try to rally some extra troops for this fight with Alduin. I have to prove myself to be allowed to enter. And with no hit run in tow, I American, before reaching the fallen warriors. And we assemble for our last tussle. And with this being the first Alduin fight, but with a proper group, I actually do so well that I thought I finished it, but Alduin had 1 HP. So with one last slap, my much needed items are returned, the world is saved, and Skyrim is a game that you can beat as captain. Hey, can you not disrupt my fucking bucket palace, please, sir? I was chilling in my buckets. What are you doing? We're fighting. We're fighting. Those are fighting words, my good sir. And prove that yes, you can beat Skyrim as Captain America. Thank you so much for watching, and show your support however you see fit. And not as always, who put the corn on the cob if the corn's always best off the cob? Food for thought. Literally.